check it out. I'm buying a 4-bedroom house as soon as I'm out of here. Sure you are, buddy. You gonna pay the mortgage with smuggled peanut butter? It's an investment, Bob. Real estate never goes down.
This kid is living in a fairy tale from 3 years ago. Because right now, in the real world, buyers are abandoning the housing market faster than rats fleeing a sinking ship. I just got my hands on some fresh, smuggled survey data, and the numbers from the agents on the outside are brutal. A few months ago, buyers were sweating over house prices. Now, only 9% care about the sticker price on a house.
Wait, they don't care about the price? That means it's cheap, right?
No, it means they have bigger nightmares to deal with. Their biggest fear right now is the entire economy. People are watching the price of basic survival go through the roof. Gas, groceries, everything is getting slapped by inflation. When you're lying awake, wondering how you'll afford next week's meals, the price of a 3-bedroom house becomes completely irrelevant. Survival mode has kicked in. And the second biggest fear making them walk away? Mortgage rates. They've shot back up, and they are crushing affordability. Now, the real estate cartel loves to brainwash you, telling you that the mortgage rate is the only thing that matters. They preach it like absolute gospel. Buy now before rates go higher. It's the greatest lie ever sold by agents and brokers, right up there with the myth that home prices never crash.
But Bob, if the rate is everything and it's high, I should wait.
Rates are just one piece of the puzzle. The real killer making buyers walk away is overall affordability. Even with sellers dropping prices and houses sitting empty, those high rates push the monthly payment right back into the danger zone. Nearly half of all buyer activity is completely compromised right now. 55% are delaying their purchases, and almost 1 in 5 buyers have rage quit the market entirely. That number almost doubled in just a single quarter.
So, less competition for me? I'm gonna get a mansion.
There's no competition because the whole game is broken. More than half of the agents out there are watching contracts get canceled left and right. Buyers who were sitting on the fence are jumping off and running the other way. And because of that, houses are rotting on the market. A third of listings are sitting there for over 6 weeks. Nobody is biting. Inventory is stacking up like unsold prison meatloaf. And how are sellers handling this massive reality check? They're throwing temper tantrums. Instead of lowering the price to what the market can actually pay, delusional sellers are just pulling their listings entirely. They pack up their toys and go home, thinking to themselves, "I'll just try again next year. Things will be magically better." Better? Are they blind? Look at the actual economy. Wars dragging on, inflation running wild, and a job market that's getting weaker every single month. Nothing about that says real estate boom next summer. Those stubborn sellers are going to deeply regret not taking a small haircut today, because tomorrow they might lose the whole head.
Wow. So the sellers are just as crazy as the buyers?
Crazier. But some are finally waking up. The ones who actually want to sell are pricing their homes realistically from day one. Those are the only transactions actually happening. Now, if you ask the agents what they expect next, you get a mixed bag of cope and absolute denial. Just a few months ago, 65% thought sales would magically improve. Now, that optimism is bleeding out fast. The majority realize their commission checks are going to shrink. They're bracing for a dry season with fewer sales. Even though some still scream that it's a seller's market, don't let the seasonal noise fool you. The power is slowly shifting back to the buyers. But the buyers themselves, they are completely demoralized. Almost 70% of people say owning a home isn't a goal anymore. It's an exclusive privilege for the absolute elite. Even folks making over $200,000 a year are convinced they need $300,000 just to buy a house. Now, mathematically, that's an exaggeration. You need about $140,000 to afford the median home. But these high earners live in overpriced cities where their perception of reality is totally warped.
I don't even make $30,000. I'm completely doomed.
You're not alone in feeling that way, kid. Over half of all Americans believe the American dream is officially dead. Look at millennials. 73% of them have completely given up hope. Gen Z is slightly more optimistic, but barely. They look at the mountain they have to climb, scraping together a massive down payment while carrying a boulder of student loan debt on their backs. And they just say, what's the point? It's not just about buying any house either. Sure, they could buy a cardboard box in a terrible neighborhood, but affording the home they actually want, that feels physically impossible. But here is the ultimate plot twist. The people who actually bought houses recently, they are miserable too. Homeowners are getting squeezed dry by the hidden costs. Utility bills are skyrocketing. Property insurance is literally doubling in some places. Routine maintenance is bleeding their bank accounts dry. Half of Gen Z homeowners regret signing those papers. They wish they could just go back to renting. Think about that. For decades, homeownership was the safest bet you could make, a fixed, stable payment for 30 years. But in 2026, it's a completely different game. The unpredictability of owning a home makes it a financial hazard. It's getting harder to justify it as a smart move. Right now, in most cases, the math favors renting. You rent, you keep your expenses low, and you invest the difference into the market. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting. We have a market where buyers think owning is unattainable and owners think keeping the house is unsustainable. That is a toxic cocktail. I will only be bullish on housing when the sellers finally surrender and slash their prices out of desperation. Until then, keep your cash ready and let the madness play out.
Okay, I'm ripping up this magazine. I'll just invest my commissary stamps instead. Compound interest, baby. No leaky roofs for me.
Finally, you're using your brain for once. Rent cheap, invest the rest, and stay out of the trap. Hit subscribe before the real estate cartel finds me.